Tonight on CBC Vancouver News. A deal reached.
Members are eager to, get back to work with a contract that provides fair wages and, the kinds of improvements that folks need to support their family in this expensive city.
Janitors at Vancouver International Airport return to the job as their strike ends on one of the busiest travel days of the year. Also, division over development. A BC court rejects the province's law to push through a supportive housing project in Vancouver. And fruitcake, love it or hate it.
Oh, I hate it.
I like it.
We were just arguing about this yesterday.
We bring you the lore on the holiday dish tradition.
This is CBC Vancouver News.
Hello and thanks for joining us, and happy Christmas Eve. I'm Baneet Braich. Well, janitors at Vancouver International Airport have accepted a deal ending job action that lasted nearly a week. The cleaners, who had been without a contract since September, had been pushing for higher wages. Yasmin Khanea has more on the new agreement.
Janitorial workers at YVR are back on the job just in time for Christmas. The union, representing about 230 workers, approved a deal with the employer, Alpine Building Maintenance, Tuesday afternoon. Workers will be getting $25 an hour in the new year, which is what they were asking for, along with overnight premiums.
It happens on the last minute of when they sense that we will escalate today.
The cleaners were preparing to escalate job action on Christmas Eve, one of the busiest travel days of the year, threatening to set up multiple picket lines at the airport and encouraging other unionized airport workers to not go to work. But at the 11th hour, workers left the picket line to vote on an agreement. Wages were the main sticking point. It's why the union says negotiations with the employer initially broke down.
Right now, of this group of over 200 cleaners here, most folks have 2 jobs. Many of them have 2 jobs to support their families at YVR.
YVR says it welcomes the deal. It says airport operations were not affected by the strike, but encourages travelers to arrive at the airport early because of the busy holiday season. Yasmin Khanea, CBC News, Richmond.
And the BC Court of Appeal has ruled that a provincial law fast-tracking a supportive housing project in Vancouver is unconstitutional. As Shoya Shetri reports, the decision halts a 12-story development in Kitsilano aimed at providing affordable housing and support services.
This vacant lot on Arbutus Street was intended to become a 12-story supportive housing unit, a project that the City of Vancouver and the BC government have been pushing forward since August 2022. Known as the Arbutus Project, the proposed development has been opposed by residents and the Kitsilano Coalition, a neighborhood group that has resisted it from the outset.
The city is going crazy with all the buildings that they're proposing right now in this beautiful area. It's going to change it forever and ever.
They wanted to put in single resident occupancies, people with substance abuse, and consumption centers. Would you want to have somebody shooting heroin up safely 50 meters from where your child goes to school?
I think it's a bit too much in one location. I think it's too big, it's too dense for the neighborhood.
On Monday, the project faced yet another setback when the BC Court of Appeal struck down a law the province introduced to pave the way for its construction. The law was passed last year after the coalition opposed the development and took the city to court. They claimed the city's approval process for the project lacked transparency, fairness, and adequate public hearing meetings. Monday's ruling says the provincial government became concerned the litigation could delay the rezoning, and so in April 2023, for the first time, it used legislation to push through the controversial supporting housing development and circumvent a court challenge by the neighborhood group. The coalition argued the province bypassed the judicial process to push the project through. The court sided with the coalition, ruling the act was unconstitutional and infringed on the judiciary's role in decision-making. The neighborhood group hailed the decision as a monumental win for the community. Housing Minister Ravi Kahlon said in a statement that the province is reviewing the ruling. He said the province would keep doing the work to make sure that more homes people need are being built. The coalition says the city cannot proceed with the development until it holds a valid public hearing, and it still wants the opportunity to work with the city to properly integrate the development into this neighborhood. Shoya Shetri, CBC News, Vancouver.
Well, it won't be a white Christmas, but a stormy one. Environment Canada has issued dozens of wind and heavy rain warnings for BC's south coast. And BC Ferries has cancelled many sailings for Christmas Day. So all sailings between Tsawwassen and Duke Point in Nanaimo on Wednesday have been cut. And trips between Tsawwassen and Swartz Bay between 11 a.m. and 5 p.m. have also been cancelled. And sailings are also cancelled between Horseshoe Bay and Departure Bay, Nanaimo, between 10:40 a.m. and 6:35 p.m. BC Ferries says these cancellations have been made to ensure the safety of customers and crew, and it adds other sailings on Wednesday are also at risk. And police in Port Moody say a gas leak from a truck that was flipped over is believed to be carbon dioxide and not ammonia, as first suspected. It says a semi-truck was carrying gas in cylinders.
Initially, it was believed that that gas was ammonia. However, it was later determined to be carbon dioxide, so certainly not as hazardous. With that said, the road was shut down as a result and remained shut down, and certain properties nearby were either sheltered in place or evacuated, including the construction site here.
Police say the accident happened at 10:40 this morning. No injuries were reported, and Port Moody Police is asking motorists and pedestrians to avoid Clark Road near St. John Street until further notice. And for those gathering for Christmas dinner, fruitcake might be on the dessert menu. No, it's not everyone's cup of tea, but is the tradition as polarizing as it's made out to be? Well, our Ashley Mollier went to find out.
Oh, I hate it.
I like it.
We were just arguing about this yesterday. I think fruitcake is horrible.
Fruitcake. It's a dense, moist mixture of dried and candied fruits, nuts, spices, and can have a bit of alcohol, or even a lot. And it's been around for centuries.
It's so old that 3,500 years ago, there was a lady put in a tomb in southern Egypt that was discovered in 1932. And she was a rather large lady who was buried with all of her stuff, and included in it were pounds of fruitcake. It came to prominence in the West kind of around the time of the Crusades, when spices became more, available to people in Europe.
Over time, it mainly turned into a British tradition, eaten at Christmas time and during weddings.
I don't eat that much here. I can't remember even the last time when I had it.
I think it has so many different flavors and kind of smells that just are so reminiscent of the holidays and Christmas in general.
Sweet Taya Bakery on Main Street makes around 1,000 to 1,500 pounds of fruitcake a year.
We typically will start our cake usually late August, early September. We get cherries from the Okanagan, sour cherries, and we candy them, and we let them sit for a bit. And then we take all our fruits, like citrus peel, raisins, currants, cherries, and we macerate them for a number of days in molasses, grape juice, and rum.
After it's baked, it matures for a number of months before it's sold locally and globally.
We've shipped to India, we've shipped all over the United States, we've shipped a few people in Europe.
Fruitcake has a bit of an interesting reputation. It can last a really long time thanks to its dry ingredients and dense texture. And yes, some people love it, while others are not fans at all.
It just reminds me of old people, maybe even. I don't know, but it's delicious. It's an acquired taste, I'd say.
As a kid, I hated it, but as I grew older, it grew on me.
I don't like those hard jelly textures inside. I like the cake part of it because it's cake.
Even if traditional fruitcake isn't your thing, there are some other variations of it.
There's Jamaican black cake. There's the sort of Victorian fruitcake. There's fruitcake in Italy, the Christmas panettone. I think there may be a fruitcake for everybody.
I think that there are the people who know the good stuff will always stay true to it, but the world of commercial food is pretty awful, and the corporatization of fruitcake has created a lot of really blobby bricks that have a lot of modified corn products, a lot of candied awful fruits, something that's very different than what you expect if it's done properly. And just know that when you take a bite into it, that there was a chubby old lady in Egypt 3,500 years ago who took just as much enjoyment out of it as you're going to be.
Love it or hate it.
Okay, that's not bad. That's actually quite good. It does. Ooh, it's got really real cherries in it.
As far as fruitcakes go, it's pretty good. That's what I'll say.
It seems like this ancient cake is here to stay. Ashley Mollier, CBC News, Vancouver.
All right, to another sugary story now. So the holidays especially are a time to indulge in chocolate treats. But when you think of chocolate, you probably don't think of a legal battle. Yasmin Hanea reports on 2 chocolate companies now in a sticky dispute.
So those are all the little leaks.
Pam Williams crushes up the key ingredient for chocolate. She's the founder of Vancouver-based École Chocolat, teaching students the delicious craft. Williams has been in the industry for about 40 years, but says she still has things to learn.
I don't know if I'd even call myself a master chocolatier now.
But those words, master chocolatier or chocolate master, are at the heart of a trademark dispute between Swiss chocolate giant Lindt and Calgary's GRC Food Services Limited.
What it boils down to is 2 companies who offer similar products, generally are in the same industry, branding with words that are too similar to each other.
Lindt took issue with the Master Chocolat trademark proposed by GRC, arguing it could confuse customers with its own trademarks Chocolate Masters and Lindt Master Chocolatier. GRC started using Master Chocolat in 2015 with great success. It says sales went from about $220,000 that year to roughly $1.8 million in 2020. GRC argued the trademarks are different. It said Master Chocolat suggests a nickname for a person, while Lindt's Chocolate Masters suggests its products were made by actual masters in the culinary art of chocolate. The Calgary company argued Chocolate Masters is commonly used and pointed to these training videos produced by Vancouver's École Chocolat. Ultimately, the trademark's opposition board found Master Chocolat could be confused with Chocolate Masters, and so GRC's trademark application was rejected. GRC is now appealing the decision. Meantime, back in Vancouver, Williams personally believes you can call yourself a chocolate master
when you feel that you can deliver the quality and the vision that your heroes do. Oh, that is really good.
Yasmin Hanea, CBC News, Vancouver.
Well, they're getting brighter and might really strike you in the eye. Headlights, the dangers and discomforts next. Police in Hong Kong have issued new warrants for 6 activists now living outside the territory, including here in Canada. As Sarah Levitt reports, Chinese officials are also offering a hefty reward for information that leads to arrests.
It's the latest round of crackdowns by Hong Kong authorities. Warrants issued for 6 pro-democracy advocates with bounties set at the equivalent of 185,000 Canadian dollars for any information leading to their arrest, all based overseas, and on the list, 2 Canadians.
I chose Canada as my home.
Joseph Tay is a former actor and founder of a Hong Kong radio station based in Canada, and Victor Ho,
Chinese Canadians,
is the former editor of the largest Chinese Canadian newspaper who testified before the Special Committee on Canada-China Relations, expressing concern over China's ever-growing influence in Hong Kong. The move comes after Hong Kongers took to the streets through 2019 and 2020, protesting a Chinese-imposed national security law. A law critics call repressive and broad for its crackdown on anything authorities deem a threat to the region.
What they're trying to do is silence free people in UK and Canada and the United States through this act of transnational repression.
I'm really young. The youngest named on Tuesday, Chloe Chung. She was 14 when she took part in the protests in 2019.
Putting me on the bounty list actually gave me some more power and motivation to do more for Hong Kong.
Last month, other activists known as the Hong Kong 47 were handed down lengthy sentences, one for 10 years. Many are colleagues and friends of Carmen Lau, who is among this latest group.
It is very important to still have someone to continue the work, especially for what they did, because they are the one who pose the pathway, or they are the one who contribute a lot.
Activists not deterred by the warrants, but inspired instead. Sarah Levitt, CBC News, London.
Well, if car headlights seem brighter these days, that's because they are. And some experts say LED lights are making our roads more dangerous. As Baneet Braich shows, the problem is especially concerning for Canada's aging population.
Night driving has always presented challenges, but these days it can be blinding because of newer LED headlights.
It's not in everybody's heads. It is real. Headlights are getting brighter. They're getting brighter, they're getting smaller, and they're getting bluer. And all 3 of those things increase a particular kind of glare. It's called discomfort glare. And it does exactly what the name suggests. It makes us feel uncomfortable. What we have is the left and right low beam patterns here.
Daniel Stern has spent decades studying car lighting and edits the top technical journal for the industry. He says concentrated LED light may look cool, but its dazzling glare can be downright dangerous.
Because all of that light is coming through a much smaller space. And so when that's in your field of vision, it's really very stabby.
Stern says outside North America, many countries have strict glare controls. In Europe, car headlights are inspected, and many are automated to ensure they avoid dazzling other drivers. A Toronto researcher recreated the effect in a simulator.
Because it really is quite debilitating, and it's a big distractor.
Especially for aging eyes.
As we age, we become more glare sensitive, and we need more light to see. When we're 60 years old, we need triple the light to be able to see any given thing that we did when we were 20. But we're also considerably more glare sensitive.
Your pupils dilate at night to use all available light, so bright headlights leave you squinting to see.
Special anti-glare lenses can help a bit.
But there's only so much that the lenses can do, right? If someone's driving on a high beam, the lens can only do so much.
It's hard to link headlight glare to accidents, but lighting experts say Canadian producers and regulators need to take a closer look. Baneet Braich, CBC News, Vancouver.
And as some living in BC's South Coast prepare last-minute Christmas dishes and wrap up presents, a storm is brewing. Your full BC weather forecast with Chris Potter up next.
Hi, I'm Amy Bell, and here's what's in your CBC Vancouver inbox.
CBC is a returning partner of the Push International Performing Arts Festival, January 23rd to February 9th. The festival features presentations of groundbreaking contemporary works of theater, dance, music, and multimedia. And ring in the new year with CBC. Watch a special live broadcast on New Year's Eve on CBC Gem, CBC TV, and the CBC News BC streaming channel. Coverage begins at 5 p.m.
This holiday season, give the gift of live, local music. Road to the Junos tickets are available now. Head to cbc.ca/Junos and get yours before they're all gone.
And as we head into tonight, a storm is on its way. Chris Potter joins us now with our full BC weather forecast.
Well, Baneet, I have to say, tomorrow's weather for Christmas Day is going to be more frightful than delightful. We do have a strong Pacific storm moving in, and it's going to create some strong winds. It will be moving in through the overnight, so the winds will start to amp up through the overnight hours. And for the day, on your Christmas Day, very strong winds are anticipated. Rain, it will be widespread, at times heavy locally, and of course, over higher terrain, it looks like some high elevation snowfall. And it looks like that snow level will be about 300 meters. So around that level, you'll probably see some snow mix in from time to time. Above that, obviously, you're going to be dealing with snowfall. Wind warning posted from Environment Canada, fairly extensive, including Vancouver, Victoria, pretty much all of Vancouver Island, the central and north coast as well, even stretching into the interior. The rainfall warning is a little bit more isolated across the western edges of Vancouver Island as well as Vancouver. This is going to be the residential areas as well as the city and on the outskirts. And it does look like that rainfall will be kind of steadier through the entire day. It will gradually ease Wednesday night and into Thursday for Boxing Day. The winds will likely be at their peak as we head in through the morning and afternoon. After that, they'll gradually start to diminish. So in terms of the potential rainfall, and once again, it's not a coincidence where the rainfall warnings are posted. You'll notice significant rainfall, potentially above 100 millimeters in some locations across western Vancouver Island, as well as Vancouver. And this is going to be the story not only for tomorrow, but Wednesday night and into Thursday and beyond. But the rain will be at its heaviest through the day on Wednesday. It will gradually start to ease as that storm begins to move inland and starts to weaken a little bit. In terms of snowfall, we're going to start to see that coastal mountain range get into basically 40, 50, maybe 60 centimeters of snow into the interior as well over higher elevations. So it does look like it's going to be a very active Wednesday, and we remain active for the entire 5-day forecast. Looks worse on paper. The worst day will be Wednesday, wind, rain. Once we get into Thursday, it will be periods of light rain. Once we get into Friday, another little pulse of moisture moves in. It gives us a chance of periods of light rain surrounding the area, and the risk of showers continues into Saturday and Sunday. But I will say the temperatures remain stable, high single digits for highs and mid single digits for overnight lows. That's a full check on your wet weather forecast. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and Happy Holidays. Baneet.
All right, thanks, Chris. Yes, lots of rain on the way, and it is Christmas Eve, and many families are preparing for the big day tomorrow in full swing. So we asked Vancouverites what's on their last-minute Christmas to-do list. Take a listen.
I have a fridge full of ingredients. I just need to sit down and prepare it all now.
So you're all caught up. You're not stressed out at all.
No, just having a good time. Instead of staying at home and relaxing, which I should be doing because really my shopping is done, I'm like, I should just go out and do more. I should just run some errands. I should make sure I have everything for dinner for Christmas, and relaxing's not on my to-do list, and I'm not good at it.
I've got some shopping left over still for the kids. We got to pick up the meat. We got to brine the meat. We got to get things under the tree. We're half Jewish, so we've got Hanukkah starts on the 25th this year, so we got 8 days of presents ready to kind of get ready for, so this year is very busy.
The shopping is done, and yeah, I'm waiting for the Boxing Day though.
Nothing but ski.
That's great. That's a great thing on your list. Where are you going to go?
That's why I'm here. I'm here to go to Cyprus and to Whistler with my son who's out here and spend Christmas with him.
All right, well, thanks so much for being with us tonight on CBC Vancouver News at 6. You can watch this newscast on CBC Gem, our free app, as well as on YouTube, and of course our website, cbc.ca/BC. Have a good night, and again, Merry Christmas.